Common air conditioning problems. Well, it's almost summer here in Florida, and guess what that means? It means that I'm going to be fixing a lot of air conditioning systems on 123 series cars. So I thought that right now would be a good time to discuss some common air conditioning problems on the 123 series, the 116 series, the 126 series, and the 107 series cars. So we're going to be looking at three different varieties of compressor. The first one we're going to talk about is the R4 AC compressor, which was used in all the diesels, with the exception of 77, 78, and very early 79 123 series cars. We're going to talk about the York compressor, which was used on early 123 series diesels and 6-cylinder gas cars. We're going to talk about the Nippon Denso compressor that was used on 201, 126 models from 86 and onward, 124 series cars and 107 series cars from 86 to 89. And we're going to talk about the Frigidaire A6 compressor, which was used on V8 cars prior to 1985. So, where do we find problems with these systems? Well, on cars equipped with the A6, the most reliable group of cars so far that I've found are V8 cars equipped with the A6 Delco compressor. Typically, I replace a bunch of O-rings in the system. I make sure that the oil level's good. I recharge the system with R12 Freon, and if I have a W126, I check the expansion valve, and that system is usually good to go. So hint, hint, check the expansion valve, check AC condensers for leaks, check hoses, and always replace all the O-rings in the system. Next, we're going to talk about the R4 compressors. In addition to the items that we mentioned before, R4 compressors are notorious for leaks. After much research, I found that the only really good R4 compressors are the ones that Compressor Works in Dallas, Texas is making, which I may have mentioned in a previous video. I also recommend putting a genuine Mercedes dryer in, even though they're almost $200, it's worth it. Or peruse eBay for a Hansa dryer or similar. The Chinese Bear dryers, the Metrix dryers, the Europarts dryers, they're all junk. They all leak, they all rust, they all tend to lose their filters inside and get blocked up with oil and then cause poor circulation. So I'm just saying, you got to pay for the good stuff. The next compressor we're going to talk about is the York. The York systems I found are pretty good. They don't eat up their hoses. They don't tend to eat up their condensers, but the compressors do leak. There's a kit you could buy on eBay for $17 to reseal a York, and then you buy the front compressor seal from Napa. But 9 times out of 10, I find that with the York compressors, the compressor itself is the point of leakage, if not the high pressure hose going from the compressor to the condenser. Last, we're going to talk about the Nippon Denso compressors. Nippon Denso compressors have a historical association on Mercedes with evaporator failures, and it's because those suckers really put out some pressure. 126 cars that are running Nippon Denso compressors, 124 series cars with Nippon Denso compressors, and even 129 series cars with Nippon Denso compressors can suffer from evaporator failures. On 201 cars, you don't usually see it as much, but that's because in most 201s, the AC systems are typically broken. So, most of the time, with the plumbing of the system, though, they're pretty good. The Nippon compressors can leak, and if they start leaking, it seems like they leak most on 560 SLs, but if they start leaking, it's better to just buy a Nippon Denso first-time fit for several $100s from Auto House Arizona or FCP Euro or RM European and call it a day. Anyway, this wraps up our lesson on where AC leaks tend to come from. Be sure to check hoses, and oh, by the way, I have one other little secret for you. On 123 series cars with the R4 compressor, the suction hose going across the front of the motor can rust in its metal portion along the bottom. You heard me, it can rust because moisture builds up inside the insulation. So if you watch this video all the way through, you got this tip that nobody would tell you anywhere. Continue to subscribe and like and share, and if you have a Mercedes without air conditioning, don't worry, we're going to give you at least the advice to fix it. It's up to you to do the rest though.